the podcast setup.
We're back.
Oh, man, if I didn't know any better, I'd say it was like 2-3 hours on October in the good year 2021.
My favorite year.
Let me check my...
Love it.
Let me check my grinder schedule, see if I've missed anything important.
See? What?
Trevor!
What? When is it?
Danny Big Meat 407 says that today is January 27th, 2022.
What the fuck?
Trevor,
Danny Big Meat never lies.
Oh, man. It's been 3 months. Oh, man. It's too bad those aliens came and took us away from probing and research because we're the two most intelligent people on the planet that could help them further the research.
I guess we just lost track of time with all the research and probing and whatnot.
All the probing and
There's
all the whatnot.
So much probing. Anyway, that's why we're 3 months late.
Hey, let's start
the podcast.
All right, we're back. Oh man, a lot has happened since we recorded.
A little too much.
Oh yeah,
we've experienced and forgotten
so much.
So many things we could have talked about.
Like, think about this. The last time we recorded was like after the first week of college for me, and now I've like
gone through the first full semester.
I just started my second week of my second semester.
Yeah. Second semester.
Oh yeah.
I got this one left. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're almost done with the full run.
Right, let's talk about something else.
Okay. Last time we recorded, I had a girlfriend.
And now
I have a girlfriend.
Last time I didn't have a girlfriend, and this time I still don't.
Maybe that much hasn't changed. Maybe we're just fucking stupid.
Maybe it's just the fucking same.
I don't know. How do you think life has progressed for us? Do you think we're better now, or do you think you want to go back to 3 months ago?
I think we're probably better now.
I
even
agree.
Though not too much has changed.
I agree.
But yeah. I like my classes a lot better this semester. The only thing that's... I'm trying to eat better, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that. You're getting really into apples and peanut butter. Like, you just, like, start coming in with bowls of sliced apples and a jar of peanut butter and a little baby spoon, and I'd be like, Trevor, give me some of that. I was fully considering, like, I think it was the first or second time that you brought in the jar of peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
With the apples, I was like, it'd be kind of great if I just came in, because this is when I brought in the Pop-Tarts to make my sad boy sandwich.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so the sad boy sandwich, for anyone who wants the
sandwich.
recipe, is you take 2 Pop-Tarts, open them up, you don't toast them, you don't need to.
Nah, we never done that.
Nah, and then you just lather the inside with peanut butter, slap them together, and chow down. It's like a PB&J for people with depression.
And if you really want to spice it up, put some whipped cream on top of that bad boy.
I have never done that.
You never put whipped cream on a Pop-Tart?
I haven't, no. I think that's a whole new level of sadness that I haven't yet reached.
Nah, it's so good.
It feels so good!
It's a pastry. Whipped cream belongs.
It tastes so good to feel so bad.
Exactly. Now you're getting it.
Yeah, but when I brought in the Pop-Tart, I was in the kitchen for a while because I was fully considering, like, should I bring a knife to spread it on the peanut butter, or to spread it on the Pop-Tart, or should I just, like, go in and dip my palm in the peanut butter and just scoop it out? Yeah, pretty much. Like, I washed my hands because I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then I was like,
that sounds fun.
I was like, I'm better than that.
Thank God.
I don't know if I'm going to be...
You'd have to get your own personal jar of peanut butter if you wanted to do that.
We have a spare jar.
Let's do that for a video. We each have our own thing of
What
peanut
can
butter.
we do with peanut butter?
Just shove it right on in there.
And then we just suffocate.
I know peanut butter's not the healthiest thing, but
fuck you, yeah,
apples with peanut butter I'm trying to make it my alternative to a dessert.
Oh yeah, peanut butter automatically makes fruits better.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever tried peanut butter grapes?
No.
They're weird.
I believe that.
They're not my
go-to. It would make the most sense because grape jelly is very common on peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I also want to try peanut butter strawberries. That sounds incredible.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
You tried chocolate strawberry. Reese's strawberry? Okay, now we're just getting into dessert. That's my bad. My hungry boy brain is acting up all kinds of ways.
It's dinner time.
It is dinner time.
I'm hungry.
Well, Trevor, our food will be our reward. Or we could just say fuck it in the middle of this and then just like be like, oh, let's
just eat during the podcast.
What do you
that was really interesting. I'm gonna go,
Can you imagine, like, we're in the middle of telling a really dramatic story? It's like, so yeah, I mean, I went through a solid, like, month there where I wasn't holding up too well. And, Trevor, what the fuck are you doing?
No, I'm just this pizza's so...
No, I'm looking at this pizza. It's got a lot of meat on it. I gotta eat it before the dog gets it.
You were saying? Anyway.
I think we should do a quick wrap, like, conclusion of what our classes for the first semester was. Because a lot happened. Because when we were telling them in the last episode, we were like, oh man, this shit's dumb.
Yeah. Did we never say what our classes were?
No, we did. Because, like, I think it was the last one where I made you get on the floor.
I can't believe that was the last episode.
I know, it's crazy. Well, that's why we gotta record more, man.
I know, but these take so long to edit.
I know. Well, I can edit this one.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I gotta get more comfortable with editing shit. And so far I've been pretty good.
Yeah.
I actually edited... I mean, the aliens edited the last...
We did. We weren't here.
Videos.
We had...
Anyway.
We had body doubles.
Yeah. Danny and Paula, they took over for a while. And Jack, while he was here. That's why you put it in
the Nerdquest video. They edited old footage of us and... Okay, so what were your classes?
Okay. So I was just going to see how long you were going to roll with it. My classes were... Well, the ones that mattered were movement and voice development. Because they were the worst. Movement never got better. In fact, it got worse. It was yoga through and through.
Delicious.
Yeah, I skipped out on most of movement, but you know,
I
did. Yeah, because I got a few emails like, if you don't show up, you're gonna fail, and I was like, I don't care that much.
Yeah.
But I showed up anyway, and it was fine. Voice development got kind of better because we learned a little bit of stuff about voice development. I don't remember any of it, but we learned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that's about all that mattered, really. Like, the other classes were just fine. It was theater shit. Yeah. What about you? What happened? What happened with your rock history class? Because we talked about Elvis a lot in the last one.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those classes for me that was like, it was interesting while I was in class and learning stuff.
Yeah.
But then, like, I don't know.
You had to do homework and stuff. It got
like,
lame.
the homework was weird, and the tests were weird, and I ended up not doing great in the class, but it was probably the most interesting one that semester.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I'm interested in that kind of stuff, so I'd probably just want to continue doing that research on my own.
Yeah.
Plus, I would talk to people about, like, what I'd learned. Like, I talked to one of my friends and, like, Dad about stuff I heard in that class, and they were like, yeah, that's just not fucking true. I was like, so... Now, like, it was cool, but also I'm, like, questioning everything I learned in that class now. Like, is anything I learned in there, like, real, or is the book that we were learning from just bullshit?
That's the tough thing about, like, celebrity history, because everyone makes up rumors about them, and everyone makes up, like, bullshit, and,
right.
like, the true stuff can get, like, scattered in there, and there could be, like, sprinkles of truth.
Yeah, but not the whole thing.
Yeah,
because,
so
like,
everyone
at the beginning of the semester,
shit.
he was like, you know, you hear all kinds of crazy things about musicians, but we're going to learn, you know, the real stuff. And I was like, oh, cool, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like,
well,
are we sure? Are we absolutely sure?
Well, I mean,
so,
at least now you know if you ever want to become a professor, you can just teach them bullshit.
Just lie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just
I mean,
BS my way through it. Like,
I mean, that's basically what acting class is. Like, we're going to learn how to lie professionally.
For a career. It's going to be great.
I already got lying on lockdown, but fuck yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why acting's so natural.
Well, Trevor, I don't know if we recapped this in one of the episodes of the podcast, but the main pinnacles of being a human: lie, cheat,
and
steal. Kill is debated.
That's like a video game trophy you unlock later.
Yeah.
If you
you
have
go the villain
the
route.
guts to do it. if you have the go-get-it attitude.
You know when you're playing, like, one of those free-roam video games, and you can either be, like, really nice to people, like Skyrim or Red Dead, and you can just, like, go around and be nice to people, and then it's like, hey, I'm a good boy.
Yeah,
or you can go up to them and you can, like, rob the shit out of them and burn
punch them in the face.
Exactly, yeah, and you go the villain route. That's kind of like what it is. Lie, cheat, steal all you want. Kills a maybe. Kills the deciding factor.
That's up to you.
Yeah. But now... Wait, sorry, was there anything else?
No, my other classes were pretty boring. While you were explaining your theater classes, I was, like, struggling to think of what classes I took last semester, because I think I trauma-blocked them. And then you said the rock class, and I was like, oh, yeah. And then there was, like, some weird theology class that... It was, like, the Hebrew Bible. I was like, that... So I couldn't tell you a thing from that.
Fuck! So, for me, this semester, I got 2 online courses. One is Understanding Literature, which so far I fucking love, because right now it's just looking back at, like, Irish mythology and stuff. And I bought a couple of books that we're just going to be, like, reading a couple of pages of and analyzing it. So far it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The other one is, like, the polar opposite. It's criminal justice, intro to criminal justice. And the cases that we're learning about are cool. But the teacher is kind of a tight ass. And so she's very like, you got to do this, and now. And there's a textbook that's like $150 that I don't have or want to get. So that's something.
Yeah.
And then all my other classes are in person. There's math, which is the big one. I have that 3 out of 5 days. Mm-hmm. There's public speaking, college writing, and I feel like there's something else that I'm forgetting. Oh, no, that's it. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just those 5 classes. What about you?
I was taking 6 classes, but I dropped one last night.
Which one?
Introduction to Digital Media.
Ooh, why?
Because it was very strange. Because before classes started, she did like one-on-one Zoom calls with us just to kind of get to know us and what we want to get out of the class, I guess. And it went well, and she was really nice and all. She's, interested in the topic, but...
Really dancing around your real feelings, aren't you?
A little bit. I don't want to say it on the podcast.
That's okay.
But, no, she was very nice, but also, like, she was sick, or not sick, but, like, she either had COVID or her daughter had COVID the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we either had asynchronous activities or, class was canceled or something. Mm-hmm. And so I just kind of put it in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
And 6 classes is more than I usually take.
Yeah.
So I was focusing on my other classes that I was actually in. And then by the time, like, she came back and, like, homework was, like, due, I was like, oh shit, I didn't do that. And then I looked at it, and there was, like, so much reading for each fucking assignment. And I was like, this just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And we're not even, like, getting started yet. And I just, like, looked through these assignments and stuff, and I was like, I can already tell that if I proceed with this class, I'm not going to get a good grade, and it might make me get a bad grade in other classes. So last night I was like, I'm just going to drop it, because that'll make my life so much less stressful. Mm-hmm. And I think it'll be better with the rest of my schedule, because I like the rest of my schedule.
Okay.
Which
solid.
is...
Yeah.
For the first time, I'm like, I have a class at 10 a.m. every day.
Disgusting.
And so the way Xavier does it is you have classes that are either Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah.
Or Tuesday and Thursday. Or if they're like really long, then you have them either Tuesday or Thursday, like one or the other. If they're like 2.5 hour long classes.
Yeah.
Of which I have 2.
Gross.
I have 2 of those. But both the 10 a.m. classes, one of them's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. One of them's Tuesday, Thursday. And they're both in the same room. So every morning I get up, go to my 10 a.m. class in the same fucking room, and they're both cool. One of them's digital design, so we're learning how to properly,
design
digital stuff. And
yeah.
She told us to pick a non-profit to like start, like learning about the basic elements is pretty cool, but and then
it's a little tedious.
It's a little tedious, yeah. But it kind of goes with my editing class that I'm taking. That's one of my 2.5 hour long classes.
Sexy.
So it's graphics editing, so it's, same thing, how to put together images nicely and draw the
Make
audience's
all the faces
eyes.
look pretty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then my other 2.5-hour long class is senior seminar, which is like a senior class for my major, and I hate it with all my heart.
Oh.
I had it today. And so far we've done it on Zoom every week, but I think we're going to go back in person, which will make it even worse.
Oh.
But it starts at 1 o'clock, and it's supposed to end at 3:30. And now sometimes with those 2.5-hour long classes, they'll let you go early.
Yeah.
I have not gone early once in that class. Yeah, I know we're only like 4 weeks in, but holy hell. And like last week, she kept us on for an extra 20 minutes. And next week she's asking like, oh, we have a student, like, I guess that once is thinking about coming to Xavier and doing my major.
Okay.
And they're like, so she's gonna hop on at 3:30. Is there anyone that wants to stay on and talk with her and stuff? And I was like, We had guests on today, like alumni giving us advice. And Jacob, I was texting Jacob the whole time. And he was like,
as one does.
Yeah. We do that every week.
Yeah.
And he was like, we'll get out at 2:30, I bet. And then we're at like 3:25, and he was like, hey, remember when I said we'd get out at 2:30? Yeah, I was wrong. And so I was like, I'm leaving at 3:30. Like, by that time, all the alumni had finally left. And she was like, I just want to talk to the kids real quick about just random bullshit. And so once it hit 3:30, I was like, leave. Bye. I left. I was done. She was in the middle of saying something. I was like, I don't care. I'm gone. 2.5 hours is long enough. If you can't fit everything in 2.5 hours,
something's wrong
that's
with
your
you.
problem.
Yeah.
Like, I got everything I needed out of here.
My lord, man.
But then, the one we're going to talk about most is writing for the media. That's my other 10 a.m. class.
Okay, yeah, let's get into classes that make us want to kill ourselves.
I actually like this class. It's the people in it that make me want to kill myself.
Let me rephrase. Let's get into classes that we feel powerful in because everyone else makes us want to kill ourselves.
There you go. Why don't you start?
Wait. All right. Sure. Yeah. Let's back it up a little bit because in my first semester, I don't know if I mentioned at all my comparative arts class.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
If I did, I was the smartest person.
Was this last semester?
This was last semester.
Okay.
Yes. Factually, statistically, I did the numbers. My IQ was higher.
Wow.
The teacher is an exception. She was a lovely lady. I had fun in her class. We had a solid student-teacher relationship. I learned, and I had fun doing some projects and shit, and I got good grades. I had a fun time in the class. But goddamn!
Did it attract a lot of dumb people? Was the other 99% of the class filled with dumb people?
No. No. The other 90%. There's 10%. There was me, there was Emma, there was Sophie, Andrew. Michael was fine. There were a healthy handful of people. I can't remember all their names, but some of them were delicious. I loved them.
Great.
They were sane. They were smart.
Yeah.
Honestly, the other half either didn't talk or talked way too much about shit that was just flat out wrong.
That's college, baby.
I know. And it got to the point where, like, these two people who, whenever they would open their mouth, I was just like, fucking no!
Like, there's always one class every semester, I swear to God. There's, like, some fucking chatters, either one or two of them, and then every time you hear them start to, speak one word, you just
die
already,
inside.
you do. You're just, like, an internal loud sigh. A powerful sigh.
Yeah.
Just, here we go again. Especially when you get, like, deep into the semester, and you're just like, God fucking damn it,
so
they've
close to
learned nothing.
being free. They're women.
Dudettes.
I don't remember either of their names. We're going to call them Bridget and Heather.
That's okay.
Bridget was always crocheting in the middle of class.
Why?
I don't know. She never made anything. She was just crocheting.
Just like squares of shit?
I don't know.
She was just
did a little, and
And the teacher would let them do that?
Yeah.
The professor was fine with that?
Yeah, she was just like, fuck all, go ahead, I don't know. There was somebody sitting, like, to my left. Well, they're in my public speaking class now, and they gave a whole speech about, I don't go by my government name. My name is Void. I needed to take a minute to try and put using the name Void seriously in any situation.
Yeah.
You can! Yeah, I
Hey,
just got back
Void,
from the
you
movies
wanna
with my name
drink?
Void. Because all I imagine is someone, like, sitting in a movie theater with the endless abyss, and I can't take that seriously. But, you know, if it makes you happy, go right at the fucking head, I don't care.
Sure.
But,
Yeah.
Bridget would always be crocheting, and she was the big problem. She was the main issue, because whenever she would talk, the teacher, sweet Gretchen, sweet lady, she put up with so much.
Oh, no.
She would let her keep going no matter how ungodly and correct she was. Let me take the most prominent example.
Yes, please.
So, our last episode of the podcast was Space is Rad, right?
That sounds right.
No, the last one was the dreaded panic shits.
Oh,
My bad.
yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Space is Rad. Our lovely listeners, however few of you there may be, you know that me and Trevor love space. We're fascinated by it. It's so cool.
Space is really cool.
Space is fucking awesome. And, like, the other day we were talking about, like, satellites that went up, and I told you about the one that got, like, footage of the sun, and you told me about the one that was, like, looking for...
Like, yeah, looking at the
planets.
first... I re-looked it up. It's the James Webb Telescope. I think people probably know somewhat about it.
Yeah, didn't you say it was going to get, like, really clear views of far away...
When I looked it up the other day, or it
planetary
might have
bodies?
been just a TikTok that came up of someone explaining it, but, like, I guess there's, like, giant mirrors on it,
Yeah.
and it's, like, the size of a tennis court,
Oh,
and it's going to
goddamn.
take pictures, apparently, of, like, you know, obviously very far away, and it'll give us a look at, like, the first stars around the first planets.
Wow.
So we'll be able to see something from, like...
Years ago. Billions of years ago.
Insane amount of years ago.
And that's amazing.
I think that's what it is. Look it up. Take a quick gander at that James Webb Telescope.
In this particular class, when we were going over, when we were comparing arts, we were talking
Yes, of course.
about space travel and, like, developments
How that
in
sounds
technology.
fucking sick.
Yeah, how we would be, like, researching space and the moon and planetary bodies, and how we would develop, like, advancements on the moon and, like, going to Mars and shit.
Right.
Like, cool
Space
stuff.
stations.
Yeah, achievable stuff. And I was like, fuck yeah, I know a decent amount of stuff about this. I'm very passionate about this. Space is amazing, and we gotta keep doing our research on it because it's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Bridget, chimed in.
Oh, good. Crochet Kathy, let's go.
Crochet Kathy.
Come on, baby.
Crochet Karen. I hadn't spoken yet because I was, like, thinking about what I was going to say because I wanted it to be good, because I was like, I am very passionate about this. I want to express, like, this is important, and I want people to actually acknowledge that this is important. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about it pretty hard. Bridget raises her hand up because the question that Gretchen asked to the class was, should we focus our research on space, or do you think we should just cut that and put our efforts all into Earth? And I said, I think in episode 3 of the podcast, when we were talking about space, was we have billions of people on Earth, and there's enough to do both.
Right.
Bridget, however, took the road not available, and was like, we should just give up. The Earth really needs to be hit by a meteor, and you know, when you think about it, the Earth, humans, we're bad, so we deserve to die. We don't deserve to develop. You know? And she just starts going on this whole rant about how we need to be hit by a meteor, and she's so sure of herself.
We should all die.
Yeah.
What a good message.
I know.
That's cool.
Like, she's laughing at it. Like, yeah, I believe in this, and this is right, and if you disagree with me, you're fucking wrong. And so...
Okay, so her solution to helping our polluted planet is to destroy it.
Her solution to the betterment of humanity is to get rid of humanity. And so that baffles my mind, because we've made amazing strides in our years of being alive. We went from murdering billions of people just for that sweet, sweet oil.
Yeah.
To killing thousands of people for that sweet, sweet oil. I mean, we still aren't...
Get me that one.
There
are lots of problems.
There are lots of problems. But we are working to get better. That's the whole story of humanity. Yeah. We are getting better with every
And some insane technological advancements.
Exactly. And so...
Which leads to more knowledge.
So she's sitting there, like, rambling on about this nonsense. Meanwhile, I'm thinking about my speech, have been completely flashbanged by this wave of bullshit, and I'm just like, ow! What the fuck? Help!
Suck it down.
And then I decide, you know what? I'm going to trust the class, the people who care.
Yeah.
They know that she's stupid. And so I raise my hand and I'm like, cool story. You're wrong. But I didn't say that time. But I just went on about, like, this is how we develop humanity. And I said basically what I said a second ago. It's like the story of humanity is bettering ourselves with each year and trying to make developments because we were researching space thousands of years ago, and we just are able to do it better now. So we should keep it up and make those advancements so we can better humanity and keep moving forward. We can't get better if we aren't alive. and then after that, I was like, all right, point made. And then,
oh good,
Heather,
yeah,
she's like, well,
oh boy, come on, baby, give me them 2 brain cells. What do you got to say?
She took a grain of what I said and was like, I don't know if humanity should be given us another chance because we're racist and we don't... Well, yeah, because I had brought up planetary travel and the possibility of years from now people living on the moon and making developments, living on Mars and shit like that, because that's a goal that we have.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know if we should expand or move or allow people on the moon or Mars because... or any possible living planet because humans are racist and humans are bad and we're going to corrupt it. And it's like, what is there to corrupt? There's nothing living on there. They're both desert planets. What do you mean? What are you talking about? And
I'm having a seizure.
I'm having an aneurysm because she's like, humans are racist and we're going to make a racist moon. There's going to be a Confederate flag on the moon. And I'm like, what do you fucking mean? And so I raise my hand because I'm like...
Does she think, like, we're going to, like, find out that, like, oh, we can inhabit it now, and then, like, the first people up in the spaceship are like,
going to be racist.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, we have scientists, we have astronomers, we have NASA engineers,
and we
have... You know what? We have a special rocket for the Ku Klux Klan.
They just have the best moonshine, and we could not say
We're better to put moonshine than the moon.
Plus,
so we got NASA, we got the USSR, we got China, and the Klan. Give it up for the Klan, the first Klan on the moon.
Let's go.
Let's fucking and then they have like a separate rickety ass ship for like black people. And it's like, all right, yeah, you guys can go up after.
You know, we'll just tie your ship to our ship with like a rope or something. See if you can follow us up there. Try not to burn up.
There's no windows or anything.
No. It's just like a wooden box.
Just get like some aluminum blankets.
Oh, God.
But that must have
That's not what's gonna happen.
No, it's not. We're gonna be responsible. We're gonna send good people,
scientists and geniuses and
so at that point we backtracked. I take this stupid woman's words and I say no. We need to be better. And then this other person swoops in like fucking hawk and is like, no, big dumb. And so at that point, I fucking mentally snap. I'm like shaking in my desk, rattling in my chair. And Emma is like she sits directly behind me. She's like looking at me like, are you okay? And I just look back at like, no.
I've had 3 aneurysms in 5 minutes.
And one's still going on. And so I shoot my hand up and I'm like, and I'm holding it there for like 2 minutes while I'm waiting for this bitch to shut the fuck up. And then Gretchen is like, yeah, Connor. It's like, okay, no!
One more time! No!
And I've loudly, I announce no, because that's fucking wrong, and I have to explain to this stupid person why she's so ungodly incorrect. And as soon as I say no with such vigor and such hidden rage, a bunch of people just, like, cover their mouth because they can't stop laughing. I hope part of it is because they know how fucking stupid she was.
I hope so.
But oh my god,
Who's to
Trevor,
say?
that was a frequent thing. Those two people would never shut the fuck up, and they were never right about anything. They were so fucking stupid.
They just kept saying
They just
stuff.
kept saying shit. Bridget more than Heather, to be fair.
Oh, good job, Heather.
Heather knew
Wow.
Heather knew some of the time when to shut the fuck up. Bridget just liked hearing herself go on. I talked for a while. Your turn.
Okay.
We're gonna take a second break here before we lose the remaining brain cells.
We gotta take a few deep breaths.
That's a lot of grease.
That's good stuff.
We have food now. This is officially turned into a mukbang. I don't know if those are still things.
I guess so.
They are now. We're bringing it back. I was doing so good, man. I was on a streak of not doing that shit. Paula was doing it all the fucking time. I was making fun of her.
Yeah.
God damn it, I'm back on the fucking ground
It's so
floor.
funny.
I know, it's the funniest thing we do. Anyway, tell me about your, what was it called? Media?
Writing for the media.
Writing for the media class.
This class is so fucking easy, Connor. It's criminal how easy this class is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't think you've taken like an English class of some sort in college yet.
I currently am, yeah.
Okay, those are kind of hard because you have to read real stuff and you gotta write real things like academic essays, which personally I hate with a burning passion.
Sure.
I writing essays is not fun for me. Like especially if I don't care about the topic.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's agony for me. However, I've been in the TV club for a while and done, written news stories, and I've taken a class already in news writing.
Yeah.
And when you write for the news, you gotta, people are dumb, Connor. We just established that. So,
and we're going to establish that in the next hour.
In that news writing class, and in this writing for the media class, because this is like for journalism in general, not specifically for like TV news.
Mm-hmm.
It applies to TV news, but also like, newspapers and magazines and online people.
I gotcha.
When you're like writing for that kind of thing, you gotta dumb it down. You gotta keep it real simple. You can't use big words. If you can think of a simpler word, use it.
So be like the opposite of a thesaurus?
Exactly. You gotta make sure it's understandable to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like a something from the vernacular of like a very complex like space NASA scientist.
Sure, you can't use vernacular.
Why?
People don't know. They don't know what it means.
Exactly. You gotta explain it if you don't. If you use a big word, you gotta explain what it means. So that part is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think writing like that is great because it kind of comes more naturally to me, and I'm able to write well in a concise and easy to read way that gets all the information to you quickly.
Yeah.
I think I can do that really well.
That's a good skill.
But there's also rules with writing.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things you abbreviate, certain titles you abbreviate, like, governor and, representative and governor and captain and, doctor and shit like that.
Yeah.
If it comes, before the person's full name, then it's a title and you gotta abbreviate it. If it comes after, you don't do that. So, in this class, is so easy for a couple reasons. The writing is great, and also, we'll take a quiz like once a week, and I'm using the word quiz very lightly. because all we do is she will pull up 10 sentences from, I guess, some kind of textbook or something, or wherever she gets it from. And we'll go through one by one each sentence and fix whatever is wrong in that sentence. Like if we learned about abbreviations that day, like of titles, like I was talking about, like doctor and captain and all that shit.
Yeah.
Then it'll be mainly focused on that, and we'll have to keep an eye out. You know, whoa! Do we spell that out, or do we, you know, do we abbreviate it? And so, it's since like the first time we did that, it was agony. But I'm gonna focus on today because today was kind of special.
Okay.
And it'll kind of encapsulate the class as a whole so far. So before I get to the quiz stuff, let me just tell you what I walked into this morning. 10 a.m. is kind of early for us, as you're well aware. Therefore, I have to get up like a couple hours before that in order to get ready and get to class on time. And so I'm walking through the cold. It's very cold outside, and I have to walk a decent ways to get to this building that it's in. And I get in, and I walk in the room, and there's a few students in there already. The professor's just talking about how, like, she's like, so yeah, I kind of, you know, used to be a cougar. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then she proceeds to tell us about a story of how she used to date a 27-year-old when she was 50.
Gross.
I was like, why are you telling me this? What have I done? She's like, yeah, he was 27, but oh my goodness, he was one of the dumbest boys I've ever met.
Or take a scan of the class.
Exactly. But she was like, let me try to think of the things she said that made him dumb.
Dick game, dumb.
No, he said something like, I'd like to move to China just so I could be the tallest person there. And she was like, that's the reason you want to go to China? So you could... That's the reason you'd want to move to China, just so you could be the tallest one. A little bit of racism sprinkled in there, as well as the stupidity.
I will say, I would not want to move to China. I would prefer to visit Japan, or maybe stay there for like a month or something, for like a semester, maybe, most.
Right.
Depends on what happens. But I would like to visit Japan.
Me too.
And I have heard things where it's like, American tourists, if they're tall, if they're like very tall or something, then the locals will be like, look at that! Which is kind of amazing, which is it's not why I want to go, but it would definitely be a perk, you know?
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun to see.
Exactly, yeah, it'd be like, yay!
Look at the big tall man!
Look, you gonna eat us.
And then at one point, I guess, in their relationship, he said something about, let's have a baby or something, and she's like, baby, I'm 50 years old, you think I can have a baby? And then they broke up.
Fun.
So she told us that fun little story about how she was a cougar, and she was like, but he was 27 and he was cute, you know? And I was like, yeah, that's good life choices. Good stuff. So that's how I entered the room.
Oh, yeah.
Sat through about 5 minutes of her talking about that.
Fun.
And then she starts talking about... I did shit. How'd you know?
One never reveals his secrets.
But then she just starts talking about, you know, something in our workbook. Like, she starts talking about our writing assignment we have to do this weekend.
Okay.
It's going to be very quick, very easy.
Yeah.
She basically explained to us how to do it. So it's going to be very easy. And then we got to the next thing. We get our textbook out and we go to the back of it where the appendixes are. And so today it was about addresses. You know, when will you abbreviate certain words? It's a little complicated. It's a very short section, but it's a little complicated.
Okay.
Like, if there's no number attached to the address, if it's like just a street, then you have to spell out both words. Like, Vine Street, you have to spell out the whole thing, both Vine and Street. If there's a number attached, then you just abbreviate street.
Yeah.
And shit like that. It's weird. But I got a hang of it pretty quick. When when we started going through it.
Yeah, it sounds easy.
Yeah, it's very easy. Once you basically just hear all the rules, you're like, oh, that's easy.
Got it.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot. And so we start going through the 10 sentences, and I was like waiting for some dumb shit to happen, and we get to like sentence 5, and Lieutenant comes up, something from last week, scary stuff. And so we all have our textbooks, and she's explaining each thing, like bit by bit, through each sentence. And I was like trying to work ahead, so I would look at my textbook, because we're allowed to. She doesn't fucking care. She's telling us the answers.
Yeah.
And so I think for that sentence we were supposed to, Lieutenant was abbreviated incorrectly. Like, the abbreviation was not spelled correctly. But so you were supposed to abbreviate it, but use the right spelling.
Okay.
And so I figured that out pretty quick. And we get through the whole, basically the whole rest of the sentence. And then this southern guy that I was telling you about, he just raises his hand again. He's like, so we write out Lieutenant? And she's like, no. Sir, you just abbreviate it. It's like LT or something. It's very easy.
Yeah.
It's something, she's like, just said that. And then we get a little further down, and she, starts scrolling away to get to the other sentences, and he's like, can you go back? I'm a little behind. And I'm like, how the fuck are you behind? We're just typing shit that she's telling us.
Oh my god.
You don't have to say anything. I know all the answers. I'll say everything. It's okay. I'll answer it for you. You just type away, little boy. Just listen and type.
This is sounding more and more like my math class.
That's exactly like the vibe. I think we're getting the same thing. That's literally all, 90% of the class has to do. There's a few other people that I think, are following along or, understand it. Mm-hmm. And then there's some people who are dead silent, who I have no idea if they're following or not. I guess they are, because they're not saying dumb shit.
Yeah.
But, so she was like, honey, you can just download this. If you're behind, it's not due right now. Mm-hmm. You can just, you can pull it up and type. And he was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, alright, you ready? And then he was just fucking silent. And then she was like, alright, and then just moved on. And then there was another kid who was like, hold on. Can you go back, please? I was like, and I was
seething, frothing at the mouth.
I was like, oh my god. And so I was like, I'm gonna go download this shit and just finish the test while these dumb motherfuckers try to figure out the easiest class I've possibly ever taken. Ever. And so I get to the part where I can, I find where I can download it, and I'm about to do it, and then she's like, she finishes explaining, she's moving on. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'll wait, it's fine. Because the rest of the questions are popped up on the big screen now, I'll just type it, get it all done.
Yeah.
And so, we get through the rest of it, and it's fine, and, after we do those tests, we're allowed to leave however early it is at that point. There's always someone asking some dumb shit. There's always multiple kids who are like, so wait, do we do this? And she's like,
I know this.
She literally would have just explained it. She'll just finish explaining it, and someone will be like, so, how do you do that? And she's like, well,
if you go back in time,
yeah,
you can pay fucking attention.
She has a lot of patience, but when that southern kid was kept going and saying dumb shit over and over, I could tell she was starting to
lose it a little bit.
She was starting to, well, no, actually it was this other kid when he asked about something to go back, and she was, she wrote something on the board.
Oh.
And he's perpendicular with the board, so he can't quite see it.
Yeah, sure.
And she's like, honey, you can't just copy and paste you gotta understand why we're writing it. I'm like, yeah, because it's really easy. If you just listen and type it, it's easy. I'm lucky enough I can see the board, but I don't really need to. Because I get it. Because it's easy.
Yeah.
And so she kind of goes off on him a little bit. Saying, do you understand? Do you get it? Do you understand now? And he's just like,
do you understand me, sir?
He's just kind of like, yes, ma'am. And she's like, "Where's your book? Pull out your textbook so you can take a look at it. Like, look at the answers and stuff. Like, what we're studying." He did not have it. And she was like, "Don't come to this class without a textbook next time." And he was like, "Yes, ma'am." It's like,
sweet boy.
Sweet, stupid fucking child in the back.
Oh, man.
Like, I think I came into the class a little late because I was on the wait list.
Yeah.
And then I finally got approved, and I was like, "Get me in there. I need to take this class. I think it's required for me." But, and then I was able to get my textbook. It's very easy to bring your textbook.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to... Anyway, that was my day this morning.
Oh, fun. My math class is more or less the fucking same. So, I go in. First thing I notice is there are 3 fully grown adults, at least. There's one person who I'm still iffy about, if they're, like, approaching their 20s or if they're in their 40s. But there are 3 definite people who are in their 50s and have given up.
Oh, good.
Or are trying again. Well, at least for the first day there was a guy sitting in the way back. There are 2 ladies who aren't that bright, and then there's this one guy wearing a veteran's hat. And I had to do a double take when I saw him, because the first time I was like, oh, that's a weird thing to... He's 90! This man was elderly. And after that,
it must be so weird to see.
Well, that's the thing. After, like, the first and maybe second class, I never saw him again. So either he dropped or he died. He either dropped or he dropped.
He's like, the first 2 classes, he's just like, he goes home and he's like, "Honey, it's too hard.
I can't.
I don't want to do this."
But one of these ladies sits on the opposite side of the room. Like, it's been long enough now. It's been like a couple of weeks. We all have like our set seats. So I sit towards the front with a couple of my friends, and everyone has like a place that they go. And one of the ladies is sitting on the other side, close to the teacher, and the other is sitting directly behind me. And so I will hear every day, like, as the teacher's explaining this shit, where she's like, we don't have to do 2 things. We have to do 3 things. I just hear her going, behind me going, "This is too much. I don't understand this. Oh, that's a little bit too heavy for me."
It's
like,
so fucking
like, what do you mean? It's numbers. So we're learning probability, which is... It's pretty easy. Let me give you an
Compared
example.
to other college math classes,
Probability is fucking easy.
that sounds really easy.
I mean, it's math for the liberal arts, so it's not going to be too challenging.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Them just don't
an example from today is we needed to find out how many combinations we could get of 3 numbers from all the digits available. And all the digits available are 10 of them, so there's 0 to 9, and that's 10. Math. So, to make a 3-digit number, you need to start the number with something that's not 0, because otherwise it's just 054, and that's a 2-digit number. That's fucking stupid. That note right there was in the text, right next to an all caps thing saying example.
Wow!
Or note, something that defined the example of 054 as not being relevant. So we do the math. We go through it all, and I'm too flustered to do the math right now in front of all of you, but I got it right because I'm fucking smart. And I did the math, and I had paper in front of me, and fuck you, I'm right. Hold on. You know what? Fuck you. I'm going to do it now because I know how to do it. So when you start off, you can't use 0, but you have the other, so it's 9, and then with repeats, you're able to do them all, so it's 10 times 10. It's 900. It's easy. It's 3 steps.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 900. But we get it, and it takes people a little while because they all think that it's 9 and 8 and 7, and it's like, no, because repeats are allowed, and you just can't use 0 for the first one. You dumb motherfucker. And then this lady, the lady who sits on the other side, close to the teacher, goes, what about 54?
What?
And I look over, and I'm like, what is she talking about?
You're doing 0 through 10?
Yeah, and I don't know what she's... 0 to 9, because those are the digits. And,
okay.
and I don't know what she means, and I take a look back at the notes and be like, I look at the board, because she didn't write out 54. I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? And then I see, and I realize that she's talking about the part of the question that says, example for what we can't do.
Oh my god.
There are so many times where I'm in that class where people will say dumb shit and I'm just like careening over. Like, you know, have you heard that TikTok audio or remember that episode of SpongeBob where Plankton is like careening in his veins and pulsing and he just goes That's me every day in this class.
Me too, man.
It's so hard to be there.
I'll go real quick.
Okay,
in that
yeah,
class, I feel that. I'm on like the very edge. Like I'm closest to the door because I was the last one to get a seat the first day I went in, and it's fine. It's a good seat, but I'll just be on the edge, and when people say dumb shit, I'll just kind of like, I'll like look away and just be like, so upset, and like when someone will say something dumb, like sometimes under my breath I'll be like, just shut up.
Oh yeah, there have been multiple times where like today when
it's
the bitch,
so easy.
When she brought up 54, I was like clutching the table, and Sophie, my friend who sits next to me, she was like looking over, was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, did you not hear what she just said?" It's So, okay, this is gonna be a twofer.
Oh, good.
So this was like first week of class, second, third day, I don't fucking know. But I got a pretty solid grasp on it because it's fucking easy. And so she's going through random chants and stuff, and we're like going through it, and it's like, what is the probability, for example, that you will pull an ace card out of a normal deck of cards?
4.
Out of?
Isn't it like 32 or something? 36?
Trevor, it's 50. It's 52. It's 52 cards. Trevor, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. It's gonna fall all over again.
Edit that out. It's 4 out of 52. I knew that.
Yes. And you got the 2 right, kinda. And
quiet you.
But yeah, it's 4 out of 52. And first she asked, how many, because I know not all of you play cards, how many cards are there in a normal deck of cards? And I raise my hand and go, 52. And then I get hushed up by people around me going, 50, 53, 50, 50, 50, 49, 53. And I'm like...
Having another panic attack.
I don't know if it's a panic attack. It's just me dying. I think it's just my body shutting down from the overload of stupidity around me. And then she says, how many aces are there? There are 4 suits, 1 per... Yes, very good, Trevor. 4. He's holding up 4 of his big fingers, his 4 piggies, and and so I'm a little bit quiet because I'm like 3 questions ahead because it's fucking easy, and so I like quietly go under my breath. It's like 4, and then she doesn't hear me, and I'm not that surprised because I was being quiet, and then someone else just goes 5, and I'm like, what?
Come on, man.
I'm sitting there like, what the fuck?
Did she say there's 1 per suit and there's 4 suits?
No, but that's just common knowledge. And then,
yeah.
And then I say it a little bit louder because I'm like, all right, that was stupid. 4, and I say it where she can hear me. And then someone behind me, I think it was the lady who's always complaining about how hard it is because she can't handle the spicy 2s. And she's like, 7, and I'm like,
God.
And I'm like, 4.
Wait, this is like an older lady?
This is a woman in her 40s or 50s.
How do you not know?
I don't know!
A deck of cards when you're that old.
I don't know, brother.
What else did you do growing up?
Nothing.
Did you never play anything?
I don't
like
know.
Poker? What the fuck? That's so weird.
So this lady,
7?
This old lady says 7, and that's when I realized there's no hope for these people. And so I raise my hand, and I'm like, 4. 4! It's 4! And I start getting louder with every time, and I'm like, it's 4! And she's like, yes, very good, 4. And I'm like,
just like you went through war. Just...
Like I made it from one trench to the other.
Yeah.
Avoiding
gunfire and bombs and shit.
And then immediately after she asks, all right, what about face cards? Jacks, queens, and kings. It is the same rule. There's one per suit. So
and
one
there's
king per
3
suit.
of them.
There's 3 of them. So it's 12 out of 52, Trevor.
Wow.
3 times 4 is 12. And there's 52 cards.
Just put one number over the other number.
So the whole series of events was everyone says the wrong number, and I'm like, 4!
Yeah.
And she's like, very good. Now what about face cards? And I'm just like, 12! I say it so loudly because I can't go through this again. I can't do it, Trevor. It's too hard.
It hurts too much.
And so I yell out 12. I'm like, no!
Just trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah, and she's like, yes, very good, 12. And I'm like, help me! But the pain didn't stop there. It didn't there. We got to the point where we were like, all right, how many ways can you rearrange the letters in the word math? And she spelled out math phonetically, so there's a capital M, 2 or 3 spaces, capital A, 2 or 3 spaces, capital T, 2 or 3 spaces, capital H. You can clearly see
math
that those are the letters that you gotta reconfigure around using your beautiful mind. And so I'm like, okay, I can do this.
You gotta believe.
But we start off and we like put 4 at the top. I think we do 4 times 3 times 2 because that's how you find it out.
Right.
And it ends up being like
24.
It is 24. And so I'm like, all right, easy. And then the same lady who said the 54 thing, or
Old lady in the front or the old lady behind you?
Old lady in the front.
Oh no!
Front and center, baby. She just goes,
the smartest one.
She goes, how'd you get 4? And I'm like,
just start like retching.
How many letters?
Count
do
with
that?
me, kids.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow! And that's how you math.
That's how we get 4. But there are so many times where, like, someone says so fucking stupid where I just get gut punched and I have to go in and I'm like...
Yeah, it is kind of like a gut punch. Especially when there's, like, consecutive ones. You're like, alright, I made it through that one, dumbass. It was hard, but I got through it. And then someone else comes up right behind him, just says another dumb thing, and you're just like,
no! There's 2 of them!
It's not fair! They're ganging up on me!
I can feel it.
It hurts!
I feel it in my penis that there's gonna be one fucking day, where one of these assholes says something so fucking stupid and so completely oblivious that it angers me, it enrages me so much in the moment that I'm going to have to look up, turn my chair that doesn't spin, I'll pick it up, move it, readjust to face them, perhaps stand, and then just go, what the fuck are you talking about?
You should ask your professor if you can do that.
Alright, well, oh my god. Alright, we talked a lot about school.
I think that's a good place.
That's a good place to leave off. Alright.
And the next one, I think we'll probably talk more about the videos we've been putting out.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about life and videos and projects coming up. It's going to be a good time.
This one was...
therapy.
Yeah, this one was just a very needed and necessary ranting moment.
We got to talk about the criminals in the next one, too. The cases that I talked to you about in my criminal justice case. Oh, it's going to be fun, fellas. Stay tuned. We love you, everybody. But always remember, fuck you.